Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the return of the Welch Report. Yes, sir, it's me, Jean-Luc Welch, your host, back again, now on YouTube, the newest platform for our daily show, or rather podcast. And we're just going to jump right into it. You know what we're about, talking about the latest news, updates, and happenings in the sports world, giving my opinion for the masses to listen to. And if you don't agree, well then, write it in the comments or go away. No, no, I'm kidding. But just to give fodder to your ears on how I view the sports landscape today. And without further ado, let's just jump right into it. We just had ourselves one of the biggest fights in boxing today for the lightweight unified championship of the world. The first undisputed champion was going to be crowned and was crowned today in boxing history at 140 pounds in a bout between Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko being the number one pound-for-pound fighter and boxer in the entire world, and Teofimo Lopez, the takeover, as he calls himself, one of the fastest riding stars in boxing today, a power puncher. My gosh, the man has hands of stone like Roberto Duran, and was looking to rip the belts from the majority title holder, Vasily Lomachenko. And my gosh, he did it. Teofimo Lopez, in a 12-round war, came out and won all the belts in the lightweight division, turning himself into the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. And in this fight, first off, talking about the judging, my goodness, you want to talk about horrible judging. The decision was right. It was a unanimous decision. But the scorecards for this fight, my word. I mean, my goodness. Sometimes you think that these people weren't watching the exact same fight. I mean, one judge had it 116 to 109, which is baffling. And I say that in the most egregious sense of the word. Baffling. That is how the scorecards will have it. Here are the scores right now. 116, 112. 119 to 109. And 117 to 111. See, the first score, absolutely. I can absolutely agree with on whether it was a close fight, because my goodness, it was. Really a close fight. But 119 to 109 and 117, 111, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is inexcusable for this type of fight. Inexcusable. Yes, the right man won, but it was not no blowout. It was not a absolute shutout. For Lopez, not at all. Here's how the fight broke down. From round 1 to round 6, Lomachenko started out slow. Lopez wins round 1. Lomachenko wins round 2. And in rounds 3 through 6, you have Lomachenko being patient, not throwing punches. Yeah, I'm sorry, 1 through 5. Rounds 1 through 5, not throwing any punches. Landing 2, 3, 5, 7. Not even getting into double digits of punches thrown, let alone landed. Being patient, doing what Lomachenko does. Because we've seen this before in his fighting style. Absolutely. This is nothing new for a fighter of his caliber, nor of his style. But he waited too long. Now, round 6 and on, The man exploded. Punch count landing 11, 22, 25, 15, 30. All throughout rounds 6 through 12. Now, granted, in round 12, Lopez took the fight when it was, in my opinion, tied 95-95 for the 12th round to decide the winner. Yeah, Lopez took over. Lopez did what he needed to do. He hunkered down, stood his ground, and just started throwing. Even though I thought he was tired. I thought that Lopez was tired up until this point. But he started throwing. Doing what he needed to do. Got aggressive. And took that round away from Lopez. Ripping it out of his hands. Understandable. Absolutely understandable. But from 6 to 11, he had no answer. Yeah, he was throwing and connected sometimes in between those rounds, or in the midst of those rounds, 6 through 11. But Lopez had complete control. Lopez had him fighting off the back foot. Lopez, with his ducking, feints, footwork, trying to use angles, and even though he was cut off by Lopez, Vasily Lomanchenko wearing down the mind of Lopez throughout the entire fight, sacrificing rounds for gaining the mental advantage, which is one of the reasons why he is regarded as the pound-for-pound best fighter in all of boxing today. But he started too late. If he had started his flurry and his aggressiveness in round 5, clear-cut winner, Lopez doesn't win the titles. Lomanchenko wins by unanimous decision. Still in a great fight, but hey, he's the undisputed champion of the world. That's what would have happened. But that's taking no credit away from Lopez. Lopez was patient and picked his shots, but wasn't out of control, which is one of the things that I really thought was going to get Lopez in this fight. I thought he was going to be maybe not the raging bull, because I understand that he's smarter than just go in and start slugging. But having that heightened sense of aggression, maybe letting the moment get to him, and the momentous occasion that was this fight, maybe would get under his nerves, and he started fighting outside of his game plan. But no, he didn't. He was patient yet active. Throw the jab out a lot. Even if it wasn't landing, he threw it, keeping Lomanchenko at bay, not allowing him to get in rhythm, landing straight rights to the body, hooks to the body. Honestly, if he had utilized them more, this fight might have been over a lot quicker. But he was doing what he needed to do. Wasn't headhunting, was keeping movement, wasn't being dumb in his attack, and was smart, methodical, explosive at times, but understand when to dial it back and analyze. Never lost focus. It's one of the things that made him so good in this fight. And Lopez never lost focus. Did not fall asleep. Did not get lax. At least from his perspective in his game plan. Did not get lax. And was never comfortable in terms of, oh, I got this fight. He fought as though the judges could have gone either way for every round. So understandable. He did phenomenal. But for Silly, one could argue that was part of his plan. Because even though Lopez never lost concentration and never got comfortable, his confidence was raised by about round 4 in terms of getting in rhythm and throwing shots with just a tad more heat to him. Still being cautious. Still wasn't, oh, I got this, I can lay back. But the confidence allowed for him to get a little rhythmic, throwing some of the same combinations. Quick jab to the head, half a step forward, and then a straight right to the body. Seeing it over and over and over again. And it was working for the first 3. And it consistently landed through the entire fight. But then we started seeing Lopez slowly getting into his rhythm, slowly finding those gaps. And then boom, round 6, he turned it on like that. And Lopez, for the most part, did not have an answer. Yes, he was still, throwing. Yes, he was still aggressive. Don't get it twisted. But he didn't have an answer. He did not have an answer in terms of from a defensive perspective. Once Lomanchenko started throwing that jab, Lopez, he was getting hit with it. And he was getting hit stiff. Head was knocking back. Momentum stopped. And it wasn't because of Lomanchenko has a bunch of power, but timing. Timing. The master of timing in this division right now in boxing. Lomanchenko was timing Lopez. One jab, slight pause, 2, 3. One jab, then back off. Come back forward. 2 jabs in the right. And then deke out at an angle. Lopez did not have an answer. He looked frantic once he saw Lomanchenko start to do Lomanchenko's thing. When the matrix started activating, Lopez was wide-eyed. Not in the sense that he was losing composure, but he was trying to figure out how to cope with the newfound pressure that Lomachenko was now applying. After, let's face it, coasting and just essentially being in sparring for half of the fight. But Lomachenko, he just didn't, he did, I get what his plan was for this fight. I understand what he wanted to do and why he wanted to do it. I get why he was slow out the box. I get why he was methodical. I understand completely why he wasn't by round 3 or round 4 amping up his output in attack. Because Lopez was doing what he needed to do. Lopez was cutting off the angles. Again, wasn't allowing him to get comfortable. Was landing to the body, which many punches against Lomachenko don't go to. And was doing his best to plug up any and all plot holes and openings that may have arisen during that fight. But Lopez is Lopez. And while I understand that you got to respect and Lomachenko is Lomanchenko. Apologize for the slip of the tongue in naming the boxers. But Lomachenko is Lomanchenko. And he's gone up against power punches before. And I get it that Lopez is probably the biggest puncher Lomachenko has faced. But there's no way that, in my opinion, that should have stalled him to that degree from initiating his normal game plan that he would normally see after round 4 or round 5. Now taking those ankles, taking those chances, hitting the uppercuts, using that power left hook that we know he has after going off the center line. Getting inside, hitting a flurry, and backing out, only to quickly come back in with the right jab and a straight. Never leaving his opponent to get his footing. Always being unpredictable, at least in the opponent's mind. Flipping that switch is what we know best with Lomanchenko. And he did not do it up until round 6. Didn't do it. All he needs to do was start that attack in round 5. And he's got the fight. That's all he has to do. Is he risking getting knocked out? Absolutely. But does that make a difference? No. Because you're Lomanchenko. You respect the power, but you don't fear the power. And so because of that, now you should let your boxing knowledge do the work. He was just a round too late. I want to see a rematch. I don't want Lopez to go up to 140. I don't want him to fight Devin Haney. I don't want that. Not until I get a rematch at this weight class. At lightweight, 135. I need a rematch. Because I guarantee that while Lomachenko won this fight, the rematch, while Lopez won this fight, apologize again. While Lopez won this fight, Lomachenko's not losing the second one. He's not losing the rematch. Oh, no. Not that he's tasted the power and respected it. Once he turned on the gas, Lopez was more so fighting off of instinct than game plan. Rounds 1 through 5, game plan. Rounds 6 to 11, now turn into instinct. Because when he tried to initiate his game plan, Lomanchenko nullified it with his aggression, with his flurries, with his jab, with his footwork. He turned on the gas, and Lopez was fighting on the back foot, backpedaling, now going to the ropes. When he was sending Lomanchenko to the ropes for the majority of the fight, or for the first half of the fight, up until round 6. He's not winning a rematch, but I need to see a rematch. And I need Lomanchenko to get out of caution the next time he fights. Because that's not the way he's going to win. The game plan worked perfectly in terms of analyzing, gauging what Lopez does, gauging his power, gauging his speed, which, mind you, was a lot faster than what I expected or anybody expected in this fight. I thought that Lomanchenko had the clear-cut speed advantage, but my gosh, was I wrong. Lopez was shooting that jab out with quickness and precision. No setup. Offbeat. Double jabs, triple jabs at one point. Consistent. Long, powerful. Snapping. I wasn't expecting that out of him. I really was not. I saw he had gained muscle for this fight, and I thought he was going to slow him down. But he kept all of his natural qualities of quickness and speed. And it was, again, unexpected to me. But even with that, Even with that, that's not going to face Lomachenko a second time. It's not going to face Lomachenko a second time. Lomachenko, next time they fight, Lord willing, we get a rematch. And I mean soon. I don't want a 14-month layoff from Lomachenko. The best thing would be, February or March of 2021, we get this fight again. That would be my ideal thing. Running back as quickly as possible. Couple months to recover, boom, back into training. But he's not winning. Not the second go-round. If he fights Lomachenko again. I can guarantee you that. Because as much as he outperformed the standards that I had and many of the boxing world had for him, we still saw what makes Lomachenko great in this fight. It just so happens that it started a tad too late. Just started a tad bit behind schedule. And it cost him. Cost him a world title. Cost him several world titles. Cost him the title of Undisputed Champion. The first in lightweight history. In the long conceived history of boxing. 100 plus years. Cost him his title of being the first ever undisputed lightweight champion. So now I got Lopez. Is he top 5? Absolutely. In the world? Pound for pound? I think so. He just beat the man who was the man. He beat the top guy. There's no way around it. Regardless of what the judges said. Even though the gap was not that big, he still did it. He pulled it out. Fair and square. He did what he had to do. So yeah, he's top 5 in the world. Is he number 3? I'm going to have to look back at the list and see. Because I still think as a fighter, Lomanchenko was better. I really do. As a fighter, Lomanchenko still showed that he was better. Because in that latter half, it was domination. Domination. Even with Teofimo Lopez throwing heat. And throwing a lot of heat. He showed he was a better fighter. Lomachenko showed that he was still the best boxer in the world. But he got beat. Fair and square. So Lopez, top 5. Lomachenko, my opinion, still number 1. Or if you want to move him to number 2 and put Bud Crawford at 1, okay. It's understandable. I can't really argue against it because he lost. And Crawford still the pound for pound best in his weight class, sweeping through his entire division. So yeah, it's understandable. But he's not winning that second fight if they have a rematch. And boy, when they have this rematch, you want to talk about a fight. See, what we got in round 6 through 12 is what we're going to get next fight, probably round 3 and on. The fight's probably going to pick up starting round 3 instead of round 6, like it did with his first go-round. That's what I'm estimating. Because Lomachenko now can take the power. He tasted the power and took it. There was one point in time when Lomachenko and Lopez were in a clinch. And as they separated, Lopez loaded up and hit him with a flush right hook. And I mean, Lopez, his hands were down. He didn't even sway back. He somewhat turned his head into the punch, looking to the ref. And all he did was shake his head and go back into the fray. So he can take the punch. He can take the power of Lopez. So it's not going to be no waiting game next time. It ain't going to be no waiting game next time. Lopez is going to have to deal with that pressure for 8 rounds. No, excuse me, for 10 rounds instead of just for 6. He ain't going to have time to build up a lead next time. He's not going to have time to build up a gap for 6 rounds. He's not going to be able to do that. It's going to be 1 through 3. Let me see what you're working with. 4 and on, hey, you got to deal with me now. I can't wait to see it. My goodness, I can't wait to see it. Because that's going to be a fight. And this is what boxing needed. Boxing needed to have this fight in order to help reestablish itself as a big-time promotion. Or sport, rather. I care less about Top Rank. I care less about PBC. I could care less about Golden Boy. It's about the fights. And we just got to see 2 of the best in the world. Or 2 of some of the best in the world. Duke it out on ESPN. Not pay-per-view. Straight up cable network television. And ESPN Plus. Phenomenal. This is what we need. We ain't in the Mayweather age no more. We're not in the criteria of a boxer need to worry about his money first. And then only his money. Protecting records. Looking to keep that undefeated streak alive. Never losing to 0. We ain't worried about that anymore. We don't need to worry about that anymore. Legacy is starting to go back to not your record, but your resume. Your fighter resume. Who did you fight to get where you are? We're getting back to that. We're getting back to anybody and everybody. It's no more of this dumb promotion stuff. At least I'm hoping. No more of this trying to pander to your own promotion. Cherry picking fights. Having more fighters like Lomanchenko who just straight up go in, will cut his own fighters first to fight the best of the best. And dogs like Lopez who just want to fight anything and everything that moves. That's what we need. That's what we're getting. UFC has that. We need that. Boxing needs that. And boxing's having that. Thankfully. So hopefully this is a return to a new normal that I can't wait to be a part of. Of everybody fighting everybody. And mega fights coming from trilogies. Rather than just cherry-picked resumes leading to who's going to be the first to lose their own. No. Now you fighting the fight. Ain't no waiting around for an undisputed champion. We got one. There ain't going to be no fighting for one belt. At least I hope not. Of the 4 that he's got in Lopez. Now, hey, putting everything on the line. At least I hope that's the case. I really do hope that's the case. And we got boxing, a slew of boxing coming down the pipeline. Tyson Fury potentially fighting in December. Gervonta Davis fighting next month. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. duking it out in an 8-round, no headgear fight. Is it an expedition? Yes. Oh, excuse me. Is it an exhibition? Yes. But it's still a fight. Might not count for the record, but it's going to count for the legacy to some degree. And whoever wins this, hey, you never know. They might just go back into reclaiming a title, potentially. More so on Tyson's end than Roy Jones. But that's a topic for another time. But we see that boxing is starting to come back. It's gaining steam, which is what it needs. Young stars like Ryan Garcia, Errol Spence Jr., fighting Danny Garcia. We got stars. We got talent. Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. We got names that want to be seen. Povetkin. We got an actual legitimate lineup of talent throughout weight divisions. Bud Crawford fighting Kell Brooks. We got fights. Big name fighters in big name fights, but fighting big name talent. This is what we need. This is what I like to see. This is what makes boxing great. And I can't wait for the rest of the year to look forward to this. It's going to be a great, and I mean great, couple of months coming down the pipeline. But strictly when it comes to Lopez and Lomanchenko, I need a rematch. Plain and simple. I need a rematch. Sooner rather than later. Because Lopez won straight up, and there ain't nothing taking that away from him. But Lomachenko is not making that same mistake of starting slow the next time he fights. He's not making that same mistake. It's not happening. Not with the caliber of talent like him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And we're going to hear the talk from Lopez's dad, the LeVar of the boxing world, with him and Tyson Fury's father. And rightfully so. He should brag. But just know, if you lose the next time y'all fight with Lomachenko, I don't want to hear it. Mark my words. Unless it ends in knockout the next time that Lomachenko and Lopez fight. And they're going to fight again. They're going to fight again. Trust and believe. Lopez is not winning. Lomachenko's going to come out a different animal. Because this is more so Lomachenko, as much as Lopez won this fight, Lomachenko cost himself the fight. As much as Lopez won, Lomachenko lost due to his own, we'll call it lackadaisical offense. In his, no, not lackadaisical, his own slow start. He was too methodical. He was too cautious. In my opinion. He's not making that same mistake again. not making that same mistake again. I can get, I can guarantee, like Charles Barkley would say, I guarantee, will not make that same mistake again. And he will reclaim his titles. And he will be undisputed champion. Mark my words. Promise you, he will not make that same mistake again. So, that's been the Welch Report. I've been John Luke Welch, and I will see you next time.